Hi and welcome back to Classic MGB. Now today we are at one of the biggest MG shows in the UK. It's MGs in the Park, organised by the Oxfordshire MG Owners Club. Neither of the children are here today, nor is the wife, so I'm flying solo, so I better get on with it. Here we are then, first port of call to Pete McHugh, Area Secretary, and I have to say the organiser main of the whole event. And also he happens to own one of the nicest GTs that I've ever seen. And we'll take a look at his car later. So Pete, tell me about the event.
Well, good morning and welcome back.
Thank you.
I think this is number 27. I've been Area Secretary for about 7 and a bit years. I'd love to say it's just me, but it isn't. It's a massive team that have got great experience in putting this show together. We came up with a date of the 1st of June, way back in October, after consulting with the owners of the Wildlife Park. It's a lot of work, but we think it's worth it in the end.
Absolutely, yeah. I did have a bit of a dodgy moment when we were thinking clouding over, but it's looking good now. So tell me, what's happening today?
Well, we've got a big blast on GTs. It's the 60th anniversary of the launch of the GT. And myself and Mike Barclay from the MGB Register came up together, I think in September last year, and said, could we do something together on the fact that it was marking the 60th launch of the GT. And as this is really likely to be the biggest MG show this year, we thought, why not do it here?
So I caught up with the other half of the partnership. It's Mike Barclay from the MGB Register. So Mike, why was it important to celebrate 60 years of the GT?
Because in 2022 we celebrated MGB 60 at Gaydon, and this year we decided that we should also celebrate the GT. So we did it in club, rather than do our own event, we decided to do a collaboration with the Oxfordshire Owners Club.
It's almost a first, isn't it? The two clubs collaborating?
Yes, it is. Yes, and it's worked well. It's worked really well. They have organised the sort of the main event, and we've taken on the GT side of it and organised the regalia, the parking, our gazebo, everything else, basically.
So if anybody's interested in joining the MGB Register, how do they go about it?
They can go to our website.
Yeah, I'll put that in the link in the description below.
Yeah, or if they're a member of the car club, they can go to the car club website. We've got our Facebook page.
What is it about the MGB that's special?
I think they're just a good all-round car, basically. They can keep up with modern traffic. They're easy to repair, easy to fix, cheap from parts, and they're decent cars to drive around in.
It's great that the two MG communities come together, the car club and the owners club, and it's really worked out nicely. We've got 4 examples of GTs during their gestation, if you like, their manifestations over their time span, starting with the Mark 1 and ending up with the LE. And we've got 2 cars in between which pick off the 2 identifying aspects of GTs.
Okay, so we better go and have a look at those cars then.
Let's have a look at them. Okay.
So Pete, first car in the lineup of 4, and you know this one quite well because it's yours.
Just a bit, yeah. I've had it for 32 years. So this is a Mark 1. This was the start of GT production. Started in October 1965. This was actually built in January 67, but wasn't registered until late 67, hence it's an F-Reg. It's in mineral blue, which was the launch colour of the BGT. This particular model has all the optional extras that you wanted, such as overdrive. It used to have wire wheels. I converted it to steel wheels, far easier to clean, and that very distinctive originality. My car's got very rare blue interior, so it was a special order from the factory delivered to University Motors in London. I bought it as a basket case and restored it over a 2-year period with the help of a guy called Dave Smith. And it's still the same. This is still the same paintwork that was done 30 years ago. So
Well, I have to say it looks absolutely brilliant. And I should say we're going to do a video together to celebrate the 60th anniversary in October, which coincides with my 60th birthday as well. So looking forward to that one. So let's move on to the next one.
okay.
So second car in the display comes from 1969, Pete. So tell me more.
Well, I suppose this car outwardly showed some of the changes that appeared during what I call as the Leylandisation of MGs. There was a brief hiatus of having a Mark II. This now is the Mark III. It has the recessed grille, or the fish mouth grille, as the Americans like to call it. It was a really different style change, and it shocked the MG world. The fact that the plinth on the top of the bonnet still has the area where the shield was gives you the fact that it was a half-baked idea.
Yeah, sure.
But you also see things like the rubber faces on the overriders. There are lots of detail changes within the dashboard, but there's also door panels that carry now British Leyland furniture. And so the parts bin was really deeply being used.
Yeah, absolutely. But still the same overall shape is the same. And they moved away from steel wheels.
Yes, the steel wheels, this model was really the introductory for row style wheels, which were Rubery Owen branded wheel that was developed in the Midlands, rather like the MG was anyway. And it's part of that package. This particular car's got chrome wires on it, so that was just part of the options bins that were there.
Yeah.
But different colours started to be used. Although this is still a racing green, there were things like ochre interiors and stuff like that. So we're well into the 70s almost on this. Okay.
Well, there's some dogs in pain, I think, over there. But yeah, to my intense embarrassment, in a video, I actually said there was a chap called Rubery Owen rather than the company. So, everybody makes mistakes.
We all do. We all do. As did the dog over there, thinking he was going to get a free bone.
I couldn't miss the opportunity to catch up with Kieran. Now, Kieran, if you didn't know, we actually met a few years ago, didn't we, at the NEC show? But tell me more about your car.
Yeah, so this is my 1971 GT. For those who follow me on Instagram will know her as Molly. But I've had her for just over 6 years now. And it's just been improving the car cosmetically and mechanically and using her as much as I can, really. And it's my first time at the show today, and it's really good. I'm really liking it.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, I have to say. Mine is obviously very similar. It is green, but it doesn't have the wire wheels. But I just don't have the patience to clean them, I'm afraid.
They do take a long time. I spend probably about an hour and a half each wheel, but it's worth it. When you see them, it's worth it. And it's all, for me, it's like, it's all the fun of owning the car, and you spend a lot of time on it, but that's the whole fun of it. And when you see it done, that's, it's all worth it for me. So.
Absolutely. And I can't not mention the fantastic model. What a lovely thing.
Yeah, so my girlfriend Emma, she's also got an MGB, and she gifted it as a Christmas gift. And without me knowing, she was, in a spare room. I think she spent a few months doing it, and then there it was, and I was amazed by it, and every little detail's been done. So she's done a really good job. It's a really good job.
Of course, you just said she's now just got an MGB, so pressure's on.
Absolutely, yeah, and she's just had hers resprayed. So Emma, if you're watching this, I need to get up to your standard now.
Excellent. So it's nice to see a young person, actually getting involved with MGBs. I mean, are you involved with the young sort of persons club?
Yeah, so previously I was chairman for the Young Members branch for, I think it's about 3.5 years I did it for. And I think it's really important we get young people into it, because the industry at the moment all over the place, I think is, it's not certain at the moment. And I think it is important for young people to step in and start taking these over. And, I think running this, for me, I've got a modern car, I've got a TF as a daily. And for me, running this is just as cheap as running, if not cheaper, than running a modern alternative. And I think that will get young people into it with the insurance as well. So there's a lot of benefits to owning a classic as a young person.
Yeah, and we were chatting earlier, you're actually in the business as well.
Yeah, so I've been in the business for just over 6 years now, and I work with my dad. We do all the wire wheel hubs and spinners. We manufacture them using original machinery and tooling and methods, really. And that's kind of what got me into it. We used to do all the shows together, and then the MGB was always one car that I saw, and I thought I'd like to own those one day. And then 6 years previous to this, I bought this one. So, yeah, it was a long time coming, but got there eventually.
So, Pete, where are we now? What's this car?
So a 72 to 74, and that's defined really with the honeycomb grille. the earlier mentioned recessed grille wasn't that popular. And so back to the traditional shield on the front of the MG with what's a more conventional grille. But what lies beneath really is the story here, because the engine mount or the radiator mount was moved forward, and that would then accommodate the V8 engine, which was used in this model. And this model here in damask red was the launch colour of this particular style of car. Again, more Leylandisation. We're into fabric seats rather than leather or vinyl. And it's really just those cost-cutting exercises that British Leyland went through, regrettably, but naturally. It still presents so well as a brilliant classic GT. We're now, like the recessed grille model, we're using the squarer type backlights as well. So we lost the little cathedral type lights that they were called. So it's still a great package, and it's coming to the end of its gestations as a chrome bumper model, because the next generation, as we know, will be the rubber bumper.
So talking of rubber bumpers, how about this one, Pete?
Well, this is one of the last of the line, the LE, the limited edition. And really, it took MGs into a modern era. It's the first time a metallic colour was used on an MGB as a standard colour. Well,
this one and the bronze on
the bronze on the
Roadster,
LE. Yeah. And of course, rubber bumpers were introduced for the US market, crash tests and so on and so forth. And it really was, for many people, the wrong move, but they've endured. Every time I hear of a rubber bumper conversion, I think, oh no, protect the breed, otherwise they'll go. So the rubber bumper car, they're diminishing because people are either converting them or they're falling away into that wasteland that is an MG that's gone to its final resting place. And it's a shame, because the rubber bumper car, particularly the GT, in my view,
I agree, looks
great. It really does look well. This LE epitomizes the best of the GT, though, with its distinctive, unique spoiler, wonderful colour scheme, the deck chair seats, which I actually liked, particularly the grey ones.
It's of the period, isn't it?
It is. Anything that's brown or orange worked for British Leyland, didn't it? But they are still a fabulous car, and so few of them were made. One of only 500 that were made. So
I think the rubber bumper, I think it was very unfortunate that it wasn't just the rubber bumpers they changed the ride height, and they put, of course, all the emissions stuff in the American, which killed the performance. So and I think that they were quite maligned, not because necessarily they had rubber bumpers, but because of all the other stuff that went on.
Indeed, and the sad fact is that no rubber bumper GT actually went to America.
No, that's right.
They were never made for the American marketplace. No. So we've got them all to ourselves.
Yeah.
So and long should they stay on our roads.
Absolutely. Pete, thank you very much for taking us on a historical tour of the GT. And as I say, I look forward to working with you in October with for the definitive MGB-GT guide, dare we say?
And we'll celebrate your 60th at the same time.
Sounds like a plan, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now, whilst this episode has mainly been about the MGB-GT, there was a lot more going on, including trade stands, a raffle, and MGs stretching as far as the eye could see. One highlight I couldn't resist, though, was the Pride of Ownership competition sponsored by Adrian Flex Insurance. Here's a few of the highlights. So there you go, that's MGs in the Park for another year. Of course, this year we have focused on the MGB GT and the 60th celebrations, and there'll be more to come, as I've mentioned earlier. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, give it a share, and if you'd subscribe to the channel, that would be even better. As always, many thanks for watching, and take care.